Hi everyone. In this video, I'm interviewing Adam Capozzi, the Director of Career Services, Assessment, and Student Success at Syracuse University. Today, we're speaking about how to get a job after college. Adam, thanks so much for joining.
Appreciate it, Jackson. It's always great talking with you.
So, what can students do while they're in college to boost their chances of landing a job after graduation? Are there any specific clubs or maybe campus resources that they should be utilizing?
That's a great question. And this is one that comes up quite often with students, especially the different faculty and staff that we work with across the university. I would say now more than ever, it's getting connected with career services, especially early on in your tenure. I know when I was a student, I really wasn't looking at this aspect till later on in my junior and senior year, but I say getting connected as early as your freshman, sophomore year to get a better sense of how to be positioning yourself with whether it's attending career fairs, on-campus programming, connecting with alumni, you name it. You want to be thinking about 3 or 4 steps ahead in this process, but also just staying active with your online CRM platform that the school is utilizing to post internships and jobs. There's always new information that's being posted there each and every day. And you'll be surprised at how much of it actually correlates to your major and the coursework that you're working on. But outside those simple things, I say from the clubs aspect, if you're in a professional major, definitely try to be looking for those organizations that align with your career interests. So those different business fraternities or different creative organizations on campus, those are going to be a great way to be building on your skill set, but don't silo yourself to just those. You want to make sure that you have kind of a full repertoire of skills and responsibilities during your 4 years. So look at something that might interest you that might not be directly aligned with your career, but this could actually lead to great conversation pieces when you're speaking with employers, when you're going against and speaking with alumni, because you might find some correlation in those conversations from these experiences that could be extremely helpful. And then definitely LinkedIn. I know we talked about this last time in our conversation. Don't ignore it. Get on LinkedIn as early as possible, because establishing an online brand presence, I think, is probably one of the most quintessential pieces that students particularly overlook in their first year to 2 years.
Great. So, kind of a follow up to that question. I know students are really busy with everything going on right now, especially, but how can students build up their resumes while they're in college?
Yeah, so you'll be surprised that students don't recognize the in-class and out-of-class projects, programs, and initiatives that they're taking on are great pieces to be adding to your resume. And I say schedule those meetings out with career services. Come in with us. We can do everything from taking that in-class application and put it to pen to paper so you can really showcase your skills and attributes. You don't even have to schedule like a full-time appointment. You can even just do drop-in sessions to review quick questions. This is a great way of just getting edits and suggestions across the board, just so you can make sure that you're putting your foot in the best position. Then, as I mentioned, with the out-of-class experiences, just keep a log of this. I would say do an Excel sheet, a Google Doc, you name it. Just keep a running checklist of everything that you're working on and go back to it as reference points. Maybe it was a group conversation or something that you presented in a class that could really showcase 1, 2, or even 3 of your skill sets that really dictate time management and potentially your personal and professional development.
Great. So, I know that even entry level positions will often call for candidates with 1 or 2 years of experience. So, do you have any tips to help students and recent graduates make it appear as if they have more experience than they actually do?
Definitely. So I say now more than ever, it's important to get internship experience during your undergrad career. I always say try to get 1 to 2 before graduating. One could be from an exploratory aspect of just figuring out your best footing, whether it's a professional sector or a geographic location. And then the second one could potentially be better aligned with your major after you get a sense of what you want to be doing. This hands-on experience is a great way to showcase your skills. Also, if you perform well, it could potentially parlay into a full-time offer. But outside of internships, I say get certifications. All schools and universities offer a madrid of different options. I can say Excel or any of the other Microsoft Suite programs are probably my top recommendations for students. especially Excel. I use it every single day. You'll be very surprised how much it goes into your day to day within the professional world. So get into it, learn it as best as possible. But now that we are also living in a virtual world, and I say tech positions are actually becoming more at the forefront than ever, learn to code. This might sound like foreign language, but you would be surprised the doors that this opens up. If you learn Python or be able to talk the lingo of writing specific information in code form, this could be a great asset to you both short term and long term. Experiential programming, we talked about this already, but participate in some out of the classroom experiences, whether it's career offerings off campus, such as different immersion programs or alumni networking events, because these different professional atmospheres and cultures could give you a little bit more insight on how to best prepare for the job interview process. And then on campus jobs also, I know students are very busy, but working in an office like career services or student records or working even in the library, you're going to gain a skill set that you never were aware of. And it's going to teach you how to best manage your time, but also interact with people that are full-time professionals, speak to how well you perform in different duties and responsibilities.
Great. So now I want to speak about creating effective resumes. I know that a lot of companies use ATS systems to evaluate resumes as a way to weed out candidates right from the start. So, how concerned should students be about these systems? And do you have any tips to help them get by?
We get this question quite a bit, I think now more than ever. Yes, we're not going to sugarcoat this. It's becoming more increasingly common that larger organizations are utilizing this technology. But I still, at the same time, wouldn't recommend that a student stress too much about it, as long as they're focusing on looking at the job description, looking at their tangible background, and tying those key verbiage and the skills within the descriptors to their documentation, both in the cover letter and the resume, and weaving it into every little form of the conversation, they should be fine. Like a good example, as I was mentioning with Excel, you're going to see a lot of these entry level jobs wondering about data management. And you can either utilize a case study or a class project that utilize Excel in your 4 years and put that into your resume to showcase what you're capable of.
Great. So we could speak about cover letters for a long time, but briefly, do you have any major do's and do nots surrounding cover letters?
I'm going to start off with the don'ts here because like it's always important to tell the students like what you need to make sure you're not doing through this. I say the biggest misconception is trying to make this fancy first sentence. And I say, don't do that. Don't lose them with this piece because on average, the cover letter and the resume really get anywhere from a 30 to 60-second glance. So either the first line is going to kind of take you over the top or potentially take you out of the running. Let's find that common ground so make sure that they continue reading it. I say don't use also a generic cover letter. It never works. So don't go to Google, don't download something, you just plug in the information. I would say a lot of employers are actually turned off by this and they have seen it all. And if it's on Google, they have seen it. It's not something that's going to be new and innovative. So trust me on that. Never, as I go back to that first time, never begin with saying, I'm just applying to this position, blah, 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 off your website or off a job posting. This really fails to address to the employer the needs and the skills that you can bring to the job. So again, this could deteriorate them from actually looking at you even further. And typos. I think these either torpedo you or they actually just make you move on to the next step very quickly. Hiring managers hate typos, so spelling mistakes, just carefully proofread. I do this to my emails. I do this to all my documents. Make sure you do it to these because these are going to be two important documentations that are going to be out there into the world, and try to keep everything to one page. You are a student. I know you have some great experience, but you don't have the experience to be going into that 2-page platform yet, especially with the cover letter, because that's where you start to have that overkill mentality of trying to put too much into too little space.
Great. So I know that the job search overall is not easy. How many jobs should students be applying for?
Definitely. Before we do that, I do want to say some important do's.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really hit on this too much. These documents are the best way of you selling your past results and what you can really be bringing to an organization, because this is going to be your first impression. So demonstrate your excellent writing skills, mainly utilize the cover letter as your communication piece to showcase what you can bring to the table compared to other candidates. Also, by listing your qualifications, you give them more insight into why you're actually the person that they want to be pursuing even further. And make sure you put your contact information into the cover letter and your resume. So many times people overlook this, but trust me, put it in there. You want to make sure they know how to follow up with you because you want the job and they potentially obviously want to be connecting with you. In terms of the job search, I would say for students that are looking to enter the job force right now, I recommend the search process to begin as early as your summer before your senior year. And I know this might sound a little crazy to think this far ahead, but getting an understanding of the types of jobs that are out there will actually help you so much in the search process. You're not going to be playing behind once it comes springtime. You're going to know what your realistic possibilities are, especially within those professional majors and concentrations. I know the creative side, that's a little bit more towards the end of the academic year that those positions come up. But going into the fall, preparing for the job search, going to your career fairs is essential. You want to make sure that you are getting a head start on this so you have enough time to network, connect with alumni, connect with the employers to build the strong relationship that can better position you for full-time success after your time leaving whatever institution you're associated with.
Great. Well, thanks, Adam, for joining us today.
I appreciate that. It's always a pleasure, Jackson.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And for more interviews like it, please subscribe. Have a great day, everyone.